Go live. Here we go. Ready? Good morning, everybody. Nailed it.
Yes, awesome. Clink choreography.
It took us 11 hours to get that to go just the way we wanted to do, but we made it happen.
But hey, good morning. And now, that was the stunt coffee. Now here's the real stuff. Yay!
Oh,
that's why you use stunt coffee.
Fix it in post.
There you go. Podcasting is a messy business.
Our clink became a clunk.
It's a complicated profession.
But see, that's why we don't do it over the computer.
Yeah, that's why we don't do it. There you go. Yeah.
In the splash zone.
Yeah, the splash zone. But hey, welcome to Nerdspresso, episode 102. We are back at Bikes, Beans, and Bordeaux in lovely Audubon Park. Not too far from what used to be the Nerd Mothership, Enterprise 1701. But here we are where they deliver wonderful coffee and delicious oatmeal and a quiche that will make you reevaluate your spiritual views.
And the real quiche, you'll know, was the French's we made along the way. That's...
But we are happy to see you. Welcome to Nerdspresso. I am Jeff.
I'm Jimmy.
And we are psyched to have you. Oi, hey.
It's good. I love it. It's working. Still staying safe. Still doing everything according to, we are in Orange County, and they did kind of lift all their restrictions. But out of respect to Bikes, Beans, and Bordeaux for being so gracious with us, and even though we're both fully vaccinated, variants still exist. The virus is still dangerous, and we're not jerks, so we're going to keep wearing the mask.
Yes, even though I have no idea how to wear it appropriately. So I'll just have I am the man with the lopsided mask.
Absolutely. Nothing wrong with that.
But we are here in the early days of June.
That's right.
Kicking off episode 102 of Nerdspresso, so thank you for joining us, either live or on the playback.
But if you're watching this later, it went very well.
It went awesome.
Just so you know.
Exactly.
For those of you who are watching it live with us now, you got no idea. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah, but we are here, and it is good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you too, brother.
It is always fun to get here, drink some coffee, enjoy some nerdy talk about what's happening in the nerd news of the day.
And they keep making good nerdy things to talk about. Like, nerd things are happening, wheels are in motion, and all kinds of fun stuff is on the horizon for us, and a lot of it is built around getting people back into the movies. And so that's something that we're very excited to see.
Yes, because we're at a time of year, we are past Memorial Day.
That's right.
So this is what is officially known as the summer movie season. And last year, summer movies kind of took a pause, and they're trying to get things back up and running to get people out in the theater. And this always makes me think at this time of year of the summer movies that I remember that I loved the most, and one of those summer movies was Michael Keaton's Batman in 1989.
That's right.
Kind of launched the modern superhero film, right? We got Superman in '78 with Christopher Reeve that made you believe a man could fly. Probably still one of the best superhero movies ever made. And then right after that would be Batman 1989. With Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, directed by Tim Burton. And there was a bit of nerd news this week.
There was, in fact.
Linking back to that legendary film. So.
Yeah. So the new Flash movie being directed by Andy Muschietti, who did It Chapter 2, and also It Chapter 1, I believe. He's doing a Flash standalone film, and this is going to explore some of the DC multiverse ideas. And so this is something that Andy Muschietti posted on his Instagram just this week. This is the Michael Keaton Batman emblem on a new Batman '89 suit because, as they announced at DC Fandom, Michael Keaton's going to be in the new movie.
Wow.
As Batman.
Look at that.
So it's Ezra Miller's Flash traveling to a different world. He goes into a different area, sees a different Gotham City with an older and wiser OG Batman to help get him more streamlined and trained in the ways of being a good hero.
And so we are seeing Michael Keaton put on the cape and cowl again for the first time since what, 1992 when he did Batman Returns, and because he left, because Tim Burton left before they made Batman Forever, and Keaton left with him because he didn't want to do it without Tim Burton.
Yeah.
And for 30 years, people are like, when's Michael Keaton gonna play Batman again? The only real Batman is Michael Keaton, even though you've had Christian Bale in the Chris Nolan Batman, and you've had Ben Affleck or Batfleck in the Justice League movie and the Batman v Superman movie. And you know what? Bale was a decent Batman. I actually think Batfleck did an awesome job as Batman.
He really did.
But
especially
yes,
in the Snyder Cut version.
But for me, yes, Michael Keaton is Batman. It is awesome to see him back in action and see what's going to happen. I also hear that Batfleck will be in this movie too.
Yeah, it's going to be this whole idea of the aligning multiple universes of DC. And so we've got the DC extended universe that is like Ezra Miller's Flash, Ben Affleck's Batman, Henry Cavill's Superman, and Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, among others. But then we've got this alternate world where we're going to see the Michael Keaton Batman. Ezra Miller's Flash is still going to come over here. We don't know if there's going to be a tie over there, but there's also another hero that's going to be in this movie, and that is they're showing Supergirl for the first time too.
And so an all-new Supergirl.
An all-new Supergirl. So Sasha Calle is the actress who was cast as Supergirl. And so they're going in a different direction with it. So she's going to have like shorter dark hair, and there's actually there's a comic precedence for this one as well. So there's a different Supergirl that is the arc that they might be following here with this one. But it's going to be kind of cool to see this whole thing kind of unravel in a whole
And it's
new
going
way.
to be very cool to find out if the Flash is even the star of his own movie.
Right. Yeah.
But that is very cool to see this come out, and I can remember that summer in 1989. When Batman came out, me and my good buddy Wes Platt, who follows us here on Nerdspresso, he and I went to a midnight screening to see the movie before anybody else. And I remember it did just kind of blow my friggin' mind, to see Batman the way you wanted to see him on screen, because previously all we'd seen is the Adam West Batman, a campy kind of Batman, and this was more the comic book Batman, particularly like they got inspired by Frank Miller's Dark Knight series, which really in the 80s got everybody back into Batman, and he took that plus like Tim Burton's sensibility to put together, and they kind of created something cool and different that we're still talking about 30 years later. So very cool. And when is this one coming out? When is Flash coming out?
This is going to be another one that's going to be coming out in 2022. So I believe. I might be wrong on that one. I got to double check.
Okay. You fact check us, folks.
Yeah. I don't want to be wrong on the internet, so I'm not going to commit to anything.
Yeah, there you go. Dollar Bill, the swag master, fact check us on when the Flash is coming out.
Because we know that DC has announced a whole bunch of new things that are coming out. So we're starting to see the first images of Shazam for the new Captain Marvel 2 movie.
And he seems to have a new costume going on too.
He
apparently.
does. They kind of shrunk up the lightning bolt a little bit, and he's got more of the rest of the DC padding.
Yeah, that's what I need. Who needs to work out when you've got padding? And you see, I have padding, but instead of a six-pack, I've got like a whole keg. So I gotta work on that. But apparently in the Shazam, the photos I saw, that apparently they add the cape in post. Apparently the cape is all CG, which I didn't realize.
Right. Because
when I looked at it, it's like, okay, he's wearing a unitard. What's up with that? But apparently they're going to add the cape in post. And then Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is starting to work on Black Adam.
Okay, so we have the list right here.
Okay.
The next things that are coming up, we've got Suicide Squad, The Suicide Squad, which will be on August 6th of this year. Then we've got The Batman with Bat-Pat and Paul Dano as the Zodiac Riddler. That'll be on March 4th, 2022. Black Adam is July 22. Flash is November of 22. Aquaman 2 is December of 22. Shazam is June of 23. And there's more stuff coming in line.
All kinds
There's a
of more
whole
stuff.
bunch.
All kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
They're even doing one on all the Super Pets, I heard.
they are doing one on the Super Pets, and
Because what we learned in that classic movie...
isn't The Rock playing Crypto?
Yes,
Yeah.
The Rock is voicing Crypto the Superdog, and if we learn nothing from the Bill Murray movie Scrooge, is that dogs and cats watch TV. So we've got big summer plans next summer.
We have indoor summer 22 and 23.
They're locked down.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what I was thinking, Jim, when we get to this time of year, the hot months, and these months grow very hot.
Yes, they do.
I spend my time in an air-conditioned movie theater, or now in front of my TV watching movies on streaming.
The various streaming levels.
But for me, summer is about movies. Well, every day is about movies, but particularly summer is about movies because there's a very particular kind of movie that comes out in summer.
Yeah.
And for me, there are a handful of movies that when I think of summer, when people say, hey, what are you doing in summer? In addition to beach trips and barbecues and vacation, I'm thinking about movies. And there's a handful of movies that tell me it's summertime.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to put this out to the crowd. What movies say summer to you? Or when it's not summer until you watch this movie. For me, there's a couple. Jaws.
Yep.
Not summer until I see Jaws. There's another movie for me that says summer, and that is the 1987 comedy classic Summer School with imaginary celebrity bro Mark Harmon. I have to watch this movie at the beginning of every summer. To me, it's not summer.
Really?
It's not summer until Mr. Shoot says it's summer.
So what's the appeal of this movie? What makes it such a
I think-
perennial favorite?
I think some of it is in the summer of 1987, I was an usher in a movie theater. Mm-hmm. It was my favorite job through high school. Duh. It probably started my codependent love affair with movies, but I was an usher in a movie theater, and one of the movies that summer was Summer School. And when you're working in a movie theater, at least in the late 80s, when you're working in a movie theater, back, and I think I talked about this last episode, before the movie would premiere, because it came in film, and then it would arrive by truck in multiple cans, and then the projectionist would have to assemble all the film into one long reel.
Yeah.
Then they'd have to preview that reel to make sure that they put it together right. So what they would do the night before the movie premiered, they would invite the staff after it closed to come in and watch the movie to make sure they got everything in the right order and nothing was broke and all that biz. And so, they got these 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. It's midnight on a Thursday, eating whatever leftover popcorn and soda, and we're all, and it's just kind of like, it was like a movie nerd party, and Summer School was one of those movies. It was also, I remember seeing Lost Boys that way.
Yeah.
And I talked about last episode seeing Predator that way. So a lot of those summer of 1987 movies really imprinted on me and just reminded me of a great summer. Cool job. All my friends were there anyway, and I was getting paid to hang out with them.
True.
But yes, Summer School, for some reason, it's funny, it's kind of quirky. It's only 90 minutes long.
Yeah.
So
it's not a long commitment. You can dive in and dive out.
But it's just like when I think about summer, I'm thinking about, you don't want to think too much. You want to have a good time.
Yeah.
And why go to the beach when you can watch a movie of people going to the beach? And, it also had Courtney Thorne-Smith in it, who at the time was a major crush for me. She played this little surfer girl. And Kirstie Alley is in it, in one of the first roles I remember seeing where she didn't wear pointed ears. So it's like, Kirstie Alley broke out in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan as Lieutenant Savick. And then the next time I remember seeing her was in Summer School. And
Interesting.
so, and Mark Harmon.
And this is before Cheers. And
This is before Cheers, yeah.
And the Look Who's Talking.
In the Look Who's Talking movies, this was her next big movie, she'd done a TV movie with Mark Harmon called The Prince of Beverly Hills or The King of Beverly Hills, where he was like a pool cleaner who romanced all the Beverly Hills ladies.
As one does.
Yes, of course. Why wouldn't you? And Kirstie Alley was the love interest in that TV movie, and I guess based on that chemistry, it rolled over into summer school because she was the elusive English teacher that our coach Shoop pursued during this movie. And they have great chemistry. It's just a lot of fun. And Mark Harmon is just so darn likable in this role.
Is he playing a teacher?
He's playing a teacher.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
I have not seen this movie.
You have not seen Summer School.
And you're not the first person who's ever talked about how great this movie is, because back when I was a teacher, this movie would come up a lot.
Oh, okay.
And they would say, "Oh yeah, this is the big send off to summer. You put this up there so kids will know what you're talking about." It's like, kids don't know what this is. This guy is like 60 years old. He's on NCIS.
Yes.
I don't want to see him running around high school.
Well,
like Matt McConaughey going, "Oh, that high school girl." They get
No, and that's very true because most people know him now as this grumpy homicide detective on NCIS. But before that, he was the lovable Mr. Shoop in Summer School. This movie is directed by Carl Reiner.
Yeah.
And it is, quite honestly, it was a movie to get teens in 1987 into the theater.
Okay.
It's light, fluffy,
So
hilarious.
it's about teachers having madcap summer adventures.
It's about teachers teaching summer school and the kids in the summer school. And Mark Harmon plays Mr. Shoop, who is the gym teacher, who became a gym teacher because he didn't want to work that hard and wanted his summers off so he could surf.
Yeah.
And he gets locked into having to teach summer school because all the other teachers take off. There's a teacher who is supposed to teach remedial English in summer school.
Yeah.
But he wins the lottery, and so he quits.
Okay.
And so they got to replace him at the last minute, and he's the last teacher to leave campus. And so he gets locked into teaching summer school, and he has this motley crew of kids that he has to teach. And so it starts.
Do they end up teaching him something?
They end up teaching him, yes.
Sure.
You know, what do you mean you haven't watched this movie? It follows the template of most teacher movies and adds some wacky laughs. And all the kids are types. I mean, there's the jock, and there's the surfer girl, there's the nerd, and there's two horror movie fans, Chainsaw and Dave, who are in this. And they're like the stoner kids.
Yeah.
And so the whole movie is about him teaching summer school, and they get in madcap adventures, and then they gotta buckle down and get serious because if the kids don't pass, he loses his job, and he's trying to get the attention of Kirstie Alley because, you know, it's in the script.
Right.
But overall, yeah, for some reason for me, it's not summer until Mr. Shoop says it's summer. So gang, let us know your verdict on Summer School. Jim, add to your list. You need to watch Summer School.
All right, it's on the list.
All right. And then, gang out there, what movies say summer to you? What movies it's not summer until you see it? Jim, what movies do you have to watch every summer?
I am, I'm a purist in certain things, you know. June 11th is the anniversary of when Jurassic Park first came out, so I watch that movie every year, more than a few times, but at least once during the summer. And so that's one that I always look forward to because that was a great movie. That is the film that I've had a Jeff-style experience to.
Okay.
And that is the best way I can describe it.
And if you know me, you know what he's talking about.
So Jurassic Park, I saw it 12 times in the theater when it was first coming out. Mm-hmm. And I was just encapsulated with this movie. I would go and see it as often as I possibly could. Then when it came back out again in a re-release, I saw it again. When it came out in 3D, I saw it again. I saw it at the Science Center in 3D. And that was really cool because it was something that we had a special showing at the whole place to ourselves. It was really awesome to see it.
And that's a great place to watch a 3D movie because the sound system's awesome, the projection's awesome, the 3D is the best 3D I've seen in a theater. And the other thing is, it only seats about 200 people. So it's a nice, intimate setting. And this is what I learned from a professional in the theater industry, is that because it's a smaller theater, the throw, which is the
distance from the projector to the screen,
is shorter, so your image is that much brighter and crisper. So yeah, watching a 3D movie or any kind of movie in the digital adventure theater at Orlando Science Center is going to be a great movie-going experience.
That's fantastic. I love it.
For me, summer movies, it's like, I know everyone's going to say, he's going to say Star Wars. And it's like, for me, the original Star Wars, which is my favorite because my dad took me to see it,
yeah.
But it doesn't register as summer to me, and it may, I don't know why. I register Star Wars more as just this father-son memory and the first time that a movie really blew my mind. But for me, a summer movie, of the Star Wars movies, the one that registers to me as a summer movie was Return of the Jedi.
Interesting.
And I don't know why, because they all came out in summer.
Because they go outside more in that one.
Maybe that's it.
They go camping in the woods.
That must be it.
That's got to be
It's
it.
got, and there's barbecue, and there's a barbecue.
Empire is the...
Yeah.
Empire's not a summer movie because that's half the movie on an
ice planet. You're right. You're right.
So I think that that's the most outdoorsy.
It's got to be the barbecue. Luca, Luca, Lula, Luca, Luca, Lula. You're probably right.
I think there's a grain to it. So I have a question that is percolating in my brain right now because coffee.
Yes.
We talk often about how there are movies that are out there that are not intentionally this kind of movie. Die Hard is not intentionally a Christmas movie, but it's a Christmas movie.
Right.
What movies aren't meant to be summer movies but are?
I see what you're saying.
And I'll throw one out
All
here
right,
just to begin with.
get it started. All right, there we go.
Because when you think of movies that take place in the summer, and the summer is a critical component of it.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't this time of year, the setting of the movie wouldn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, right.
So Die Hard wouldn't have happened if it wasn't the Nakatomi Plaza Christmas party.
Right.
That put everybody in the right.
That's essential to the setting, to the motivation of the movie.
Critical component.
Yeah.
Jurassic World is a week after Christmas movie because it's critical to, like, that's the reason the kids were going there. It was all that's what. If it wasn't summer, Mrs. Voorhees wouldn't have had anybody to kill.
That's a good point.
Friday the 13th
would not
is a
exist
summer movie.
Without summer. No, true. Otherwise, she'd just be terrorizing a groundskeeper, and that would get really old. Chasing around squirrels.
Right.
Take your nuts. That's a very good point. So what you're trying to say is what movies, if you take them out of summer,
just don't work anymore.
It just don't work.
Yeah. And that, again, Jaws. It needs to be the summer because that's the whole, that's the center conflict.
Yeah. Yes, Amity is a summer town. We need summer dollars.
No one's worried about a shark approaching Mathis Vineyard in November.
Yes.
So
it's going to be one of the best 4th of Julys we've ever had. Do what you got to do, but those beaches will be open. And I love Mayor Larry. I don't know if there's a movie character as strong as Mayor Larry when it comes to representing like the clueless bureaucracy of small town government, and Mayor Larry doesn't think he's a villain.
Right.
He thinks he's doing right by his town. But the other reason that Mayor Larry is a great movie character is that flippin' blazer with the anchors on it. That is awesome. If anybody
he dressed for the job he wanted.
Yes.
And he was holding that movie down.
And he crushed it. If anybody can find me that blazer with the anchors on it, I definitely need to rock that Mayor Larry blazer.
That'd be great.
All right, so folks, and what movies mean summer to you? A lot of Spielberg movies remind me of summer, and maybe that's because they mostly came out in summer. But they weren't set in summer. It's like E.T. feels like a summer movie to me, but it happens in the fall.
It happens around Halloween.
Yeah. And all the Indiana Jones movies remind me of summer. And
because he's a teacher and at summer school.
Yeah, there you go. There's an idea. Here's an idea.
Yeah.
Somebody put this out there, that it's like the real hero of the Indiana Jones movies is not Indiana Jones. It's the teacher's assistant that had to teach his classes while he ditched them to go on his adventures. And where's that person's story?
Well, see, the thing is, in addition to defeating the Nazis, he also came back one day with the golden codpiece of Cortez and got tenure at the university. So they let Dr. Jones do whatever he wants to do, and they don't even care. He's got a 101 level archaeology course. His course is one of the simplest ones that are there. And just from the times when they've actually shown him in the classroom, which they did extensively, not only in Raiders, but also touched on it in Crusade, and then again in Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
We actually saw the classroom setting. And so in that regard, it's not exactly complicated archaeology that he's sharing. He's going over like superposition type stuff. He's like, hey, you find something lower in the pile, probably put there first. You know, he's like, okay.
It's like, screw it, I gotta go fight Nazis.
That's it.
See ya. Yeah, and it's like, Dexter, teach the rest of the class. All right, so any other movies that scream summer to you? Or it's not summer till you get to watch them?
It's not summer until I actually get a chance to see. And actually, I'm gonna go with you on the Jaws thing because I 100% agree on that. That is one of those quintessential, because Quint is essential.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Oh, yeah. We need major clinks on that one. Very nice. Because Quint is essential. Oh, yeah. Farewell and adieu to those fair Spanish ladies. Okay. So, gang, let us know what movies mean summer to you. What movies it's not summer till you get to watch them. What movies need summer as a plot point.
Yeah.
Just drop them in the comments and let us know. But that kind of rolls into it's summertime, summer movie season. We stuck a pin in it last summer.
Yeah.
And so,
now it's going to be an indoor summer because we want it to be, not because they're telling us to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And some of the summer movies,
choosing not to go outside.
we are choosing not to go to the theaters. But it's interesting, in many ways, summer movie season 2022 is summer movie season 2021, the sequel.
Yeah.
So a lot of the movies that were scheduled for last summer are rolling out this summer. So you got like Quiet Place 2, Cruella, Black Widow. These are all movies that were planned to come out last summer that are rolling out this summer. And some of them are coming out in theaters, and some of them are coming out in theaters and streaming at the same time. Some of them are coming out in theaters and then 6 weeks later are showing up on streaming. But regardless, these are the summer movies that you're going to get to watch in some form, wherever way you're comfortable. You can watch these summer movies. Are you thinking of going to the theater this summer, or are you still kind of hanging back for a while?
No, I think I'm at a point now where I'm ready to get back out there and tell people to turn their phones off and stop talking. So that's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah.
What happens if you go into the movie theater for the first time and you see someone who is on their phone or talking? I feel like we're empowered as a people to turn and say, shut up.
Yeah.
It's been a year since it's
Yeah, go home.
You came back for this?
Yeah, go home and go home and watch it at home then. Dollar Bill the Swag Master, who is the art champion of movie going. He is in our crew. Ventured forth into theaters to see Quiet Place 2.
Yeah.
And he said it's awesome. He said it's as good as Quiet Place 1. Now, if you didn't see Quiet Place 1, please press pause on our show and go watch it, and then come back. It's only like 85 minutes long. But Quiet Place is a great flick. It's on. Oh. Is that on your list as well?
It's on the list.
All right. So you're gonna watch Quiet Place in summer school in the next week.
It's fine.
But no,
continue.
It's a great flick. It is clever.
Yeah.
It is. The storytelling is very tight. It's compelling. When it came out, you felt it was like a gimmick movie because it is this movie where the monster hears you, has super hearing, so you gotta like not make any sounds. So it is a movie where people don't talk, and where they try to make it they're as quiet as possible.
And it came out around the same time as Bird Box. And so people are like, oh, I've got two competing, I can't use one of my senses movies.
Yeah.
And I can go with Sandra Bullock or Jim from The Office. Which do I do?
Yeah.
And heading to Scranton was the best choice.
Yeah, there you go. Because people would rather would rather not talk than not see,
Yeah.
because they could understand the whole, all right, I cannot make it, I don't want to make a noise or the monsters will get me, but the whole idea of walking around like this for 90 minutes just didn't make a whole lot of sense. And that's a movie you'd rather see at home, because if you're going to walk around like this, you want to make sure you're not bumping into strangers.
Correct.
So Quiet Place 1, cool flick. And now we have Quiet Place 2, and Dollar Bill says thumbs up on that one. So that's a big one. Cruella is another one.
That's on Disney Plus right now with the premium subscription.
Yeah, so you can watch it in theaters, or you can watch it with the premier subscription on Disney Plus, or it's going to roll out in Disney Plus around August, I guess.
Okay.
But this is an origin story of how Cruella de Vil got to become Cruella de Vil, Cruella de Vil.
If we sing any
More with,
we'll get sued.
So you find out, I guess, why she hates dogs. And this is played, Emma Thompson plays young Cruella. Emma Stone plays young Cruella.
Yeah, Emma Thompson plays the other one.
Emma Thompson plays her boss, who is...
This devil wearing Prada.
Yeah, there you go. And so...
That's the movie.
Yeah,
the Bill wears Prada.
Very much. And doesn't like dogs. I've been told that it's like the Joker movie, but with fashion for kids. So just throw that in there, and that's a bouillabaisse of movie-going fun.
If you walk around with Bratz dolls going, we live in a society, this movie is for you.
There you go. The only thing I can say about Cruella, because I have not yet seen it, but my son just got out of 5th grade, so congratulations, Tater, for graduating elementary school on to middle school. Let the games begin.
Yeah.
And so all his little friends in 5th grade have gotten on a group text. They've been on this group text for over a week now.
Oh, man.
And they're going back and forth with all kinds of nonsense.
Oh,
so
chicanery.
So they can stay. And I'm like, just go outside.
Yeah.
And me wanting to talk, right? I mean, because it's like, I'm not going outside. But I'm the dad, so do it. But anyway, one of the little girls saw Cruella, and Tate showed me the text, and the text says, y'all, Cruella is everything. So there's an 11-year-old girl out there who's saying thumbs up on Cruella. Now,
kids these days,
I tell you, with their wacky texting.
see, the way that we used to do it back in the day was you wrote keep in touch in erasable ballpoint marker on ballpoint pen on the page of someone's yearbook.
Yeah.
And then you closed it, and then you didn't speak again for 6 years.
Yes.
Until you get a little older, and then you bump into them in a grocery store awkwardly while you're holding a basket full of heavy stuff, and you overcompensated on your strength for carrying the entire 8-pack of Gatorade bottles, and so you're like, oh yeah, no, we can totally talk, but you're just kind of dying inside. This reliable conversation, this leads nowhere.
Yes. For me, a lot of those yearbook pages there was a lot of Lilab. I got a lot of Lilab. Love you like a brother.
Yeah.
I had game back in school. Every girl went, love you like a brother. I lived in the friend zone, basically. And then for the other awkward conversation when you meet up with schoolmates is like 10 years later when you're working retail, and an old classmate shows up, and they're like, hey, how you doing? And they're like, oh, I got my MBA, and I'm working for this. I'm working for whatever and making 6 figures. How are you doing? Boop, that's going to be $6.99. Thanks for coming. But according to this 11-year-old girl on Tate's group text, Cruella is everything.
Cruella
y'all.
is everything, y'all.
All right.
Were there a bunch of hand clap emojis with it too?
I think there were.
Cruella is everything.
Yeah, I think there were some smiley faces and one eggplant. I don't know what that meant. So what? That's a way Homer, y'all. Oh. The other big summer, Fast and Furious 9 is apparently a thing.
Yeah.
And this one was big because apparently, was it AMC Theaters worked with Vin Diesel to do this
This whole big thing about
this whole thing about
gotta
coming
get
back to the
back to the
theaters.
movies.
Yeah, it's if you call it, you're not American unless you go back to the movies. We need the movies. We need the popcorn. We need the soda.
SNL did a great last
SNL did an amazing parody of
has
it.
a pretty good Vin Diesel.
You need to check this out. We should
We'll
drop it in the
Yep,
comments.
Yep.
Beck Bennett of SNL did a parody of this Vin Diesel movie ad, where it's like Vin Diesel saying, "Come back to the movies," and he just goes on this litany of things that happen in the movies. The popcorn, the soda spilled on the floor, the weird old man sitting behind you, the lady that won't get off her phone, the movies. Yeah. All right. So, what summer movies do you really want to see this summer?
So I'm excited about Black Widow.
Okay.
I was really hoping that would have come out in one way, shape, or form, that we could have seen it on streaming. But now that it's they've been holding the brakes on that one, and it just came out this week and said, finally, July 9th, you can see it in an actual theater. Go and see it.
Because it's been delayed like half a dozen times over the last year.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Kind of the litmus test for this whole pandemic theater thing has been No Time to Die.
The Bond movie, yeah.
And how did that one work out?
Yeah, because that was the first movie. That was the first movie that they put a pause on.
And they kept moving it and moving it and moving it, and was like, wow, if this moves again, that's going to be weird for the entire industry. And then they moved it 3 more times. And then eventually it's like, I wonder if it's going to happen. And so Amazon just buys MGM.
Yeah, enough of this.
It's like, I'm going to buy the entire studio.
Yeah.
So it'll go straight to Prime now.
Yeah.
And so now they're changing the movie title. Instead of being 007, No Time to Die, it's now 007, Dead on Saturday with $35 worth of minimum order.
Well, there you go. Included with your Prime membership.
No Prime to Die.
Obviously,
I thought No Prime to Die was going to be the easy route, so I wanted to go longer.
Oh, there you go. That's clever. I always thought, I was going to say, obviously, there's plenty of time to die. So,
yeah.
But
you don't find the time, you make the time.
You make the time to die. But No Time to Die. So is it coming out in Prime, or are they going to show it in theaters first and then it's going to go to Prime?
That's the other thing that's fun about this, is that the people making the movies have no idea.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The studios are making these choices and not letting the people behind the helm figure out.
That's very true. It's like a lot of people last summer were talking about Tenet.
Yeah.
Tenet was going to save it. First, it was going to be Wonder Woman in 1984. Right. Wonder Woman 84 was going to save movies. And then they said, no, because we're going to roll that out on HBO Max at Christmas. And so then they were like, well, Tenet's going to save movies. And Tenet came out in theaters in, July last year, and like 4 people saw it in the theater. And 2 people understood it. One of them was lying. So now people are rediscovering Tenet because it's on HBO Max and Blu-ray, and they're getting to watch it. And here's the thing with Chris Nolan. Chris Nolan's movies really do need to be seen on the big screen. He is one of those that you need to see. And a person who would agree with that is Vin Diesel. So you got to get back to the movies for the popcorn and the soda and the guy sitting behind you who understands Tenet. And the girl sitting next to you who doesn't understand Tenet, but she wants you to think you do. And so she just keeps saying things like, it's very intriguing. It's a mind game. And so there you go. The movies. But so so theater going, not really a thing last year. Hoping it's going to come back this year. For me, summer movies, I am very curious. In addition to Quiet Place 2, Suicide Squad. Which I guess is it's not really a reboot, it's not a remake, it's just, I guess it's a mulligan?
It's kind of a sequel-ish.
Yeah.
So it's it's another story.
Okay.
It's another story being told with with the same characters played by the same people. And so each Suicide Squad mission and adventure is going to be like its own standalone thing. But I feel like it has to all be in the same universe, otherwise why are they using the same
characters? But this time it's being made by James Gunn,
right?
Who made the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, which are pretty awesome. And a lot of people said when the first Suicide Squad came out, what was that, 3-4 years ago?
Yeah.
That it was really kind of DC's attempt at Guardians of the Galaxy, because it
Correct.
was snarky and it used pop music and
And it's a bunch
of
of anti-heroes
Yeah.
cracking jokes the entire time and blowing stuff up. And
So
it's
I am
fun.
curious to see how James Gunn makes this happen. There's some cool actors involved. You know, Margot Robbie is back as Harley Quinn, and she was the breakout star of the first movie. And you got Idris Elba in this flick, who is not playing Deadshot, the Will Smith character.
Correct.
Right?
He's playing Bronze Tiger, different character altogether.
But so it looks very promising. That's going to be in theaters and HBO Max. The other movie that I am actually intrigued to see this summer, and I'm ashamed to say, but it's Jungle Cruise. And
Oh, yeah.
This is a Disney movie with Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt, and it's basically exactly what you think it is. It is a movie based on the Jungle Cruise ride at Disney. And as crass and commercial as this concept sounds, it also could be a heck of a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because I remember back in the day when I'm like, why are they making a movie about the Pirates of the Caribbean ride? Is it going to have a whole segment of those guys trying to get the dog to unlock the jail cell and the hot redhead chasing the guys around with a rolling pin? But they pulled it off and made a very entertaining movie that had a springboard of the ride. And it sounds like they're doing a very Raiders of the Lost Ark meets the African Queen kind of vibe with this Jungle Cruise idea. And you know, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson also we talked about this in the last episode.
Yeah.
He made Jumanji relevant again.
Jumanji was really good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that.
he made his Jumanji movies fun. So I'm thinking this could just be a fun time at the movies. And apparently it's going to be in theaters and on Disney Plus as part of their premiere service as well. My challenge with that is you're paying $29.99 to see this movie on your Disney Plus streaming if you want to see it now. Or you can wait, 6-8 weeks and then just see it with your Disney Plus subscription. So it's like, how bad do you really want to see it, right? How bad? Well, I know one person that really wants to see it in the theater. That's Vin Diesel.
That's right.
The movies. You want to see these overblown concepts where they're charging you $20 to see a movie about a ride. So come to the movies. All right.
So I pulled up the list of the Suicide Squad characters that are going to be in it,
All
because
right.
it is a huge list of
It is a
people.
huge cast, and it's a cool cast.
And every single one of them has a different, unique take on what's going on. So you got Margot Robbie coming back as Harley Quinn, the former psychiatrist, fell in love with the Joker, went crazy, battled Batman, a whole bunch of different things. She has a fun Abbott and Costello style relationship with Idris Elba's character, who is actually Bloodsport. I said Bronze Tiger before, it's not him, it's Bloodsport. So Bloodsport is very similar to Deadshot in that he's a technologically advanced hitman.
Okay.
But Deadshot's thing was that he never misses. No matter what, no matter how complicated or quick, his bullet's always going to land where he wants it to go. Bloodsport's thing is that he is technologically advanced suit, all these kind of things. He actually ended up getting captured because he shot Superman with a kryptonite bullet at one point. And so that's kind of what landed him in here in the beginning. You got John Cena playing Peacemaker, who is this completely frat bro Captain America version. And then you got Joel Kinnaman coming back as Rick Flag, who is the leader of the Suicide Squad. Sylvester Stallone playing King Shark.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
Who is, they picture him as Jaws / Baby Yoda with a dad bod.
And you know what? He's got dark eyes,
Yeah.
lifeless eyes, like a doll's eyes. When he bites you, he doesn't even appear to be living until those eyes roll over white.
I'm
You
glad
hear those terrible high-pitched screaming.
I'm glad we got that in. We almost didn't do it.
And we almost got through a whole episode and didn't do a Quinn impression. So.
But it's important because, as you know, it's quintessential.
Yeah. Bang, bang, bang. Because it's the movies.
We've also got Peter Capaldi, who is one of the Doctor Who's, playing the Thinker, who is a supervillain who's got like weird...
Big brain.
Like when Doc first met Marty in 1955, wearing that crazy thing. Except this guy has that, like that's part of his actual head.
Great Scott!
Yeah. You got Captain Boomerang coming back, Amanda Waller coming back with Viola Davis. We've got David Dastmalchian as Polka Dot Man.
And he is one of the guys from Ant-Man. He's one of the Ant-Man sidekick dudes. Yeah.
He was also in Dark Knight.
Was he?
He was. He was the guy when they did the thing where they did the funeral for Commissioner Gordon, and they caught a couple of and Joker was in the honor guard, and they were going to try and shoot. Or no, the funeral for Harvey Dent, and they were going to shoot Gordon at that point.
Yeah.
And so, and then Harvey Dent catches this one guy, throws him into an ambulance, drives off with him, and then he's flipping the coin. He's like, "You tell me what's going on, I'm going to shoot you, blow your head off." And then Batman stops him. The crazy guy that he's talking to is David Dastmalchian.
And he's and often he's playing a guy with a Russian accent for some reason.
Yes.
And a nice little side story on him. He has, I think, his own comic book, independent comic book. He's a big comic book nerd. I think he even owns a comic book store, maybe in Manhattan or somewhere. But he's actually a very cool guy. So maybe this will be his big breakout role.
So along the line of this, like just rattling off the list of the rest of the crazy people that are in this, Michael Rooker.
Got to have Michael Rooker if James Gunn is directing.
Yeah.
They've got a long history together. Back from they did Slither, a really fun big B movie.
It was a B movie that got it. It was like an homage to B movies.
Yes.
It was so good. It was like the Cabin in the Woods.
Yes.
Of the greasy one.
Funny, clever, kind of creepy. Yeah, you should go out and watch Slither if you hadn't. That's really kind of what put James Gunn on the map as a director. Yeah.
We've got Daniela Melchior as Ratcatcher 2, a villain who can control rats with telekinesis.
Which is a very important superpower.
It's important.
And you know,
never running out of pizza.
And the other issue is too, you know, it has to be rats, because if she was doing it with hamsters, you know, no one would care. It'd be a totally different movie.
Yeah. Richard Gere was originally cast in a similar role. Pete Davidson, but it was gerbils.
I see what you're talking about. Okay.
Pete Davidson is playing Blackguard, character whose name is Richard Dick Hertz, who is a mercenary who ruins all of his own stuff.
That's some subtle comedy right there.
But look at the meme characters, like the internet fan favorites. You got Michael Rooker, you got Pete Davidson, you got Nathan Fillion, Sean Gunn. Flula Borg is a former Olympic athlete who uses javelins as weapons. And then we've also got Steve Agee, who is he's playing one of the wardens of the company here. And then we've got Malin Ng as Mongal. Now, hers is an interesting character because one of Superman's biggest villains is this guy named Mongol, who is like an interplanetary warlord. It's like a Genghis Khan kind of guy, conquering different worlds, and then he puts them all into like gladiatorial combat with each other. Mongal is his daughter.
Oh, okay.
So she's this super jacked, bright, like Big Bird yellow-skinned gladiator from another planet who can take on like some of the biggest.
So it's kind of like the comic book movie equivalent of Vince McMahon and his daughter.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Break it down so I can understand it.
So the fun thing about this is that, you know, Idris Elba was supposed to originally be a recast Deadshot.
Okay.
But they switched him to a different character to leave the door open for Will Smith in the future.
Well, there you go.
Because they're expecting that this one, there's a lot of potential for this to really blow up and be awesome.
Yeah, because the first Suicide Squad had some potential, but I think it kind of tried a little too hard, and it just... It's kind of tons of dumb. So,
but the problem with Suicide Squad, one of the problems with Suicide Squad was they had behind the scenes hiccups, like every DC movie has had in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And so the editing team that was supposed to put the movie together ended up getting fired, like they changed directions. And so Warner Brothers ended up just hiring a company that does movie trailers.
To edit the movie.
To edit this.
Oh, goodness.
So that's why it had that really punchy, and there's all these like different graphics and things.
Yeah.
And everything was very big and blasting, but no substance.
Right.
Because they basically made a 2-hour movie trailer.
Well, that explains a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So, Suicide. That's probably the movie that I'm looking forward to most
Me
this
too.
summer
Me
is
too.
the Suicide Squad. So, gang, anybody who is watching us either now live or in the replay, let us know the movies you're looking forward to this summer. Are you going back to theaters? Are you not going back to theaters? Just let us know. But yeah, there's about a half a dozen cool movies we're checking out this summer. And then there is the thousands of movies available on streaming now that you can review, which kind of brings us to our next topic as we break it down into a genre of film. It's summer, you go to the beach in summer, you go in the water at summer, and you have some movies that take place underwater, or a majority of scenes that take place underwater.
Right.
So let's talk about these underwater movies, the fantastic films, as it were. And you can't talk about them without the ultimate summer movie. We're talking Jaws.
I think that's the. I've been trying to figure out how
You've
to
been
making a shark out of shadow puppets.
I was thinking you just kind of had a nervous thing going on.
It's like that's more of a Demetrodon.
That's kind of like a Spinosaurus or something.
Okay,
There you
that's
go.
sharky.
Yeah, that's a little sharky.
So we talked about Jaws a lot.
Yes, we do.
And we've got a bunch of movies that we have on the list here.
Yes.
So we've got Deep Star 6, Leviathan, The Meg, The Abyss, and Deep Blue Sea. So
Yeah, all movies that take place underwater, or a lot of stuff that takes place underwater. Of that list, what do you like? What do you not like? What do you want to?
Yeah.
What is fantastic to you, my friend?
Oh my gosh, I loved Deep Blue Sea. Always fun.
Always fun. Had that big surprise moment that happens. It's very interesting, to see the evolution of the underwater movie, because it was like Jaws was filmed on open water.
Right.
And you can see it, you can feel it, and then because a lot of movies are underwater movies are shot in a soundstage, in a big tank. A lot of them just kind of use a lot of stock footage, underwater stock footage, and go, look, see, we're underwater because we've got that same footage of the fish swimming by. So just take our word for it, we're underwater. Deep Blue Sea is a lot of fun. And that was a summer movie, summer in '99. That was a good summer movie. It's Thomas Jane, Samuel L. Jackson, Michael Rappaport, a lot of people who aren't working anymore.
Yeah.
And they're in this underwater research station, and they're working on shark. They're doing shark research, and what they figured out, and what they're trying to do is what they're trying to harvest some kind of protein off of shark brains to.
They found a way to. Yeah, there's a chemical that sharks produce that is like a super medicine. This was playing into the trope of like sharks not getting cancer.
Yeah.
And so they found whatever that adrenal compound was.
And we're talking movie science here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they found that if they could make the sharks smarter, they increase the brain, increase the output, you get more of this stuff, and it's good for medicine because,
you get more. You get more of it.
Change the world.
Yes.
For the better, one hopes.
Yep. But basically, you took the apex predator, and you gave it intelligence.
Yeah.
So now it's not just instinct; it's thinking, and now it's after you. And this movie was made by Rennie Harlin, who made Die Hard 2, Die Harder, and Cliffhanger, and The Long Kiss Goodnight. Big action movie guy, and he's from he's from like Denmark or Norway or something like that. And I just remember Deep Blue Sea was one of the first movies I ever got on DVD.
Really?
Yes. And it was also one of the first movies that I took my wife to when we were dating. It was one of our first date movies.
Oh my gosh.
And so I think that's probably why we got it on DVD. So in watching on DVD, and this is back in the early days of DVD when you wanted to experience all the extras, right?
Yeah.
So we did it. We watched the movie, then we watched the movie with the commentary. And the Rennie Harlin commentary is like, the movie opens, he's like, I wanted to make a shark movie, bigger and faster than Jaws. And so that was an in-joke with my wife and I for years after that. We just look at each other when a movie was ridiculous, and we just go, I wanted to make a shark movie. Bigger and faster than Jaws. Because, come on, it's Jaws. You're never going to do better than Jaws. But it is, Deep Blue Sea is kind of like a fun B-movie. Thomas Jane's in it.
Yep.
You know, it's got some legitimate scares, jump scare, and it's got the awesome twist in it.
Yes.
About halfway through the movie, so definitely worth seeing. But Jaws, we've already talked before. The first Jaws is a classic. It's iconic. One of the best movies ever made, in my opinion. The ultimate summer movie. And then the sequels, it's just like, you know, it's a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy.
I've been racking my brain here for the last few minutes because there's a movie that we recently talked about.
Yeah.
And I can't for the life of me remember what it was, but it was basically Jaws 3.
Oh.
And the premise of Jaws 3,
Yes.
or Jaws 3D, is that they found this remarkable creature. They put it on display in a water park for people to come and see, and then it goes badly. And then they find out that what they had was just the baby, and now the mother is extremely upset about the situation and is coming to overwhelm the human forces that are presented there. And that is not only Jaws 3, but that's this other movie that we were just talking about, and it's driving me crazy as to what it was.
It wasn't Jurassic Park 2.
It wasn't Jurassic Park 2. It's not. It wasn't any of the Jurassic Parks because, like, and I thought about that too because the baby T-Rex wasn't hurting anybody, and like there wasn't a second bigger T-Rex that shows up.
This is part of the Meg, right? That's kind of a central part of the Meg.
That's it. The Meg is Jaws 3.
And
right.
And that comes back to another underwater movie, which is worth your time because it's just so flippin' gonzo. The Meg, which stars Jason Statham as some ocean dude.
Yeah.
And the
Angry marine biologist number 7.
Because when you're thinking about marine biologists, you're thinking the transporter. Handsome Rob is what Jason Statham is called in our house because that's a character he played in the Italian Job movie with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
He played a character called Handsome Rob, and my lovely bride has a monster crush on Jason Statham.
Really?
And so she always refers to him as Handsome Rob. And, the Italian Job was another movie that came out in summer, and it's a remake of a Michael Caine movie. And the big central thing is they all drive minis. They do a heist using the Mini Cooper
To drive
car.
through the sewers because you needed something small. It was perfect. You want to have some fun?
Yeah.
Jet Li's The One.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
It's on my list.
It's on the list.
Yes.
Jason Statham
Yes.
is in this movie
Okay.
as a interdimensional time cop
Okay. The movies.
who is doing a Brooklyn accent the entire
Jason
time.
Statham is doing a Brooklyn accent.
He's trying.
That's like
God bless him.
That's like Stallone. It's like Stallone doing Hamlet. I just don't see it.
No, it was very much like that.
Okay.
So Jet Li is this criminal who figures out that you can jump to different multiverses, and if we all have a certain amount of energy that's within our person, a human soul. Let's say, just for sake of argument, you got a soul, right?
Yeah.
So there's 50 other Earths and 50 other yous,
Okay.
and each you is sharing a part of that soul.
Okay.
If you go to another Earth and kill that you,
Yes.
you get a little bit of upgrade.
Okay.
And so Jet Li has figured this out, and now he's going around the different universes, killing other versions of himself,
Okay.
becoming more and more powerful.
okay.
So now he's
All
like
right.
basically Superman.
All right. Because there can be only one.
It's a Highlander martial arts thing with Time Cop.
Got it. The movies.
It's gotta come to the
Movies. Yeah.
And so it's Jason Statham and Delroy Lindo.
Oh, Delroy Lindo.
Are the
The poor man Samuel L. Jackson, Delroy Lindo.
In this case, they're doing Lethal Weapon.
Ah.
So it's he's the cop who's too old for this.
Yeah.
And then Statham is the frazzled, like the hired gun.
Yeah, the edgy Okay.
And so like they're following Jet Li through time, and then they find this other Jet Li, who is like he's gotten through 48, so now there's 2 left. And there's the one who's going around killing everybody, and then there's one who's like, man, I can lift so many groceries at once, and I don't know why.
And he's doing it very gently. So like and I understand that the gentleman is Asian, and that's his name. But when you say it gently, it sounds like an adverb. I'm doing it gently. He's very gently.
A Jet Li way is one of the best ways to do it.
If you're gonna do it gently.
Yeah, Mike caught up with me. He said, "Yeah, Meg is the same as Jaws 3."
Oh,
yeah,
Mike Van Landeren, Mike, I love you, but I struggle with your name. But Mike is one of the original Nerdspresso followers, so thanks for joining us and thanks for chiming in. Mike is also a major Jaws fan.
He loves your shirt. He said.
Yes, and so it's interesting because when we go, so you had Jason Statham, Handsome Rob, in the Italian Job remake, which starred Mark Wahlberg against the villain, and the villain in that movie is like Edward Norton.
Yeah.
So you got Mark Wahlberg against Edward Norton, and it's like the battle of no personality with these guys. It's like vanilla ice cream versus French vanilla ice cream. It's just, bah! But it has some great character bits with Jason Statham, Charlize Theron's in it, Seth Green's in it. But it's a remake of a 60s movie starring Michael Caine. And that movie's a lot of fun too. But then Michael Caine, through his career of taking jobs because he wanted to like go on vacation or buy a cool house, ends up doing Jaws 4. See, this is how it all comes back around.
We were going to get there eventually.
Yeah, eventually. You know, you just got to hang in there with us. So, yeah, Jaws is kind of a franchise where maybe they should have stopped at 1, maybe they should have stopped at 2, because Jaws is an amazing, awesome classic movie. Jaws 2 is a fun ride.
Yeah.
Jaws 2 it's like Jaws 1, if Jaws 1 is a haunted house, Jaws 2 is a roller coaster.
Yeah.
They're both good, but for different reasons. And then they should have just darn stopped. But I'll tell you, I did the underwater double feature this week and watched 2 underwater movies. I watched Deep Star 6 and Leviathan, one after the other. And they're essentially the same movie. They bookend each other, and they actually both came out around the same time. And in 1989, I'm thinking it was the year of the underwater movie, because you had The Abyss with James Cameron, big underwater movie, 3 hours of underwaterness, and it was actually filmed underwater. He actually filmed that movie. He developed cameras, and he developed breathing gear so they could shoot underwater, and you could see the people's faces, and you could record the movie dialogue. You just wonder, what could James Cameron accomplish if he wasn't making movies?
Well, he did the same thing with Titanic. Like they went down to the actual Titanic, and that was like he wanted to go visit it, and he's like, okay, I'll build a movie around it.
Yeah. You just wonder how productive he could have been if he was not making these movies. But the movies are fun and cool.
If James Cameron wanted to remake 2001 or 2010, where they go to Europa,
he'd probably go to Europa.
He would do it on location.
Exactly.
He is living the crazy, the superstitions about Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
He's like, Kubrick filmed the moon landing, but he wanted to do it on location.
Yeah, pretty much. So Abyss was kind of the high point of the underwater movie, but then Deep Star 6 and Leviathan happened the same year, and they're kind of the other extreme of underwater movie making, in the sense of I don't think they even got near the water in making those movies. But like Deep Star 6 is kind of like, I think they spent like $25 on this movie. But Deep Star 6 and Leviathan are roughly the same thing. It's a crew in an underwater station, and something creepy gets in the station and starts hunting them.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. And one movie had a huge budget and they threw money at it, and the other movie was Deep Star 6. So, and so in watching these, you have a very nice comparison, and it's like I'll be honest with you. In the Battle of Deep Star 6 versus Leviathan, I gotta say Deep Star 6.
Yeah.
Because Deep Star 6 knows they're making a schlocky movie, knows they have no money, and they embrace it. It's like, yes, we know our monster is is rubbery and kind of goofy looking, so we work around it. We understand that, all our character development is just based on who's going to die next.
Right.
But at some point, you got to dive in and embrace the schlocktastic greatness of the guy from BJ and the Bear and MTV's Nia Peoples fighting a giant prehistoric crab monster. And then you watch
Marvelous time to be alive.
you watch Leviathan, which was a big budget summer movie. I mean, you know who wrote Leviathan?
Stephen King.
Oh, the guy who wrote Blade Runner.
Oh, really?
David Peoples and Jeb Stewart. And Jeb Stewart, I think, was a co-writer of Die Hard. I mean, there was some talent, and it's starring Peter Weller. Peter Weller's in this. Richard Crenna's in it. Ernie Hudson's in it. Daniel Stern's in it. Hector Elizondo is in it. The best thing to ever happen to any Gary Marshall movie. But it's like Leviathan makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's like, I think there's probably 30 minutes of this movie on the cutting room floor, and that's where all the good stuff is. It's directed by George Cosmatos, who made Rambo, First Blood 2, and Tombstone.
Oh, jeez.
And so it makes no sense. And I know they weren't under. Whereas Abyss went out of its way to show, hey, we're really underwater. Leviathan's like, yeah, here's some stock footage. Yeah, we're underwater. Sure, we're underwater. But it's like they set this
The
thing.
Ron and Valerie Harper B-roll from Jaws when they were filming the sharks.
Pretty much. Actually, I think they set up a camera outside their dentist's office aquarium. Hey, Dr. Cooperman has a cool aquarium. Just put the camera next to it. And it's like the whole point is in Leviathan, they're like they're miners or something. They're mining some underground whatnot, and they come across this derelict sunken ship, and they find something in the sunken ship that they bring back to the station, and mayhem ensues.
That's Alien.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think the filmmakers were thinking, hey, you've already seen Alien? Yeah, this is kind of the same thing, so we don't really need to explain it. And then the other thing is and this is a 30-year-old movie, so I'm not spoiling anything. The nastiness starts to happen, and then it all these characters are basically chum. You're not invested in any of them.
Yeah.
They're all types, and so there's no, the tension is not in, oh, my favorite character's about to buy it. The tension's in, okay, how are they going to do away with this one? And then as these people succumb, they are absorbed into the big baddies. So it's kind of like The Thing.
I got you.
So it's like this mishmash potluck version of better movies. And I realize now, watching Peter Weller's performance, he's got two ways of acting. Quirky, deadpan, and snarky, deadpan. And it's like, or maybe there's a third one, just deadpan. Because these things worked in Buckaroo Banzai, because that's just a gonzo movie. And so that deadpan delivery, wherever you go, there you are. It's like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then when you get into RoboCop, it's like,
Better alive, you are coming with me.
Your move, creep. Worked. But now we get to Leviathan, and we're like, all right, this is all this guy's got.
Yeah.
And so, Leviathan's just kind of joyless. Whereas Deep Star 6, you got the BJ and the Bear guy. You've got one of the guys from We've Got It Made. It's like my childhood on screen fighting a rubber crab monster. So in the Battle of Deep Star 6 versus Leviathan, I'm going Deep Star 6.
Sounds good.
How about you?
I'm going to follow your lead on that one.
All right,
I'm
then.
going to say 100% because Both of those movies are on my list.
So, gang, out there in Nerdspresso land, what are your favorite underwater movies? Let us know. Share with us in the comments. All these movies, if you haven't seen them, put them on your list. But you can check out Deep Star 6 and Leviathan now on Prime Video and watch them back to back. Because if you watch Deep Star 6, the next movie they recommend is Leviathan. If you're watching Leviathan, the next movie they recommend is Deep Star 6.
They know that how this conversation is going to turn out,
Yeah.
so they want you to be there for it.
And I also want you to make a tally of how many underwater movies you watch that have the term deep in the title.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how many of them start with the stock underwater footage? And I love the contrast. All these movies start with tranquil underwater scenes, so as if they're subliminally telling you things are gonna get bad soon. So, all right.
Good times.
All right, we're rolling in. We talked about how Indiana Jones movies kind of remind me of summer, and obviously that resonates with studios as well because they just started production on the 5th Indiana Jones movie.
Indiana Jones number 5.
Indiana Jones number 5. Indiana Jones and the Curse of the Reverse Mortgage,
Yeah.
I guess, because Harrison Ford, back as Indiana Jones, he's getting up there. He's almost 80 years old, but he's still kicking it. This is it's going to co-star Phoebe Waller-Bridge,
Right.
who is going to have be able to claim that she's worked with Han Solo and Indiana Jones because she played L7 in the Han Solo movie. And then it's also got Mads Mikkelsen, who we are assuming is playing the villain.
Oh, he's such a good villain, though. He plays the bad guy in just about everything he
I'm
does.
assuming he's the villain because, Ben Mendelsohn wasn't available. So
Right.
they got Mads Mikkelsen. And then a guy named Boyd Holbrook, who starred in the
Narcos.
and he starred in the most recent Predator movie, but we won't hold it against him. So Indiana Jones 5 started production this week, and it's directed not by Spielberg. Spielberg's producing, but decided to step away from directing duties. He claims because he was too busy making the West Side Story remake. And this is a movie that's been in development for at least 5 years.
Yeah.
And so now it's coming out, supposed to come out next summer of 2022. I'm a little torn on this one because I love the Indiana Jones character. I've enjoyed all the Indiana Jones movies. I even enjoyed Crystal Skull.
It had its moments.
Yes.
But it also had its moments.
Yes, it did. And most of those were Shia
Yeah.
LaBeouf.
Doesn't matter.
Whatever, he's not in this movie. So, just kind of thoughts. You looking forward to this movie? You're not looking forward to this? Does this movie even need to be made? Is this a franchise that has run out of gas?
Speaking
thoughts.
of running out of gas,
Yes.
you got the perfect segue. Instead of Steven Spielberg, it's going to be directed by James Mangold, who just got a Best Picture nomination for Ford vs. Ferrari.
And the other thing James Mangold's known for is he made the Logan movie.
Yeah.
And everybody was like saying this was the first R-rated superhero movie, right? Before
It
the
was.
Deadpool movies, or
It
did
was
Deadpool
the first mainstream rated
Yeah.
R movie.
Okay.
For superheroes, because that was one that kids knew who the character was. There were other R-rated superhero movies before that came out, but nobody gave it.
I guess so. And so Deadpool, I guess, was the first R-rated superhero movie that made a ton of money, right?
Yes, yeah.
And then
And
Logan
that opened the door for
Logan to come out.
to be
and
more aggressive on things.
and so James Mangold basically got some because he also did the Wolverine, right? That was the
Yes, but he
Wolverine.
also did Wogan, and he did Ford v. Ferrari, so we don't talk about the Wolverine anymore.
Oh, okay, all right, sorry. So we want to talk about good movies. Okay, all right. And
But, so the beauty of this, with those two things, so Ford versus Ferrari had to do with aging racers trying to stay in the game. Logan was an aging superhero who was otherwise indestructible and now dealing with his own mortality. And so with those themes, how is he going to weave that? Is he going to weave that kind of stuff into Indiana Jones 5? Because it's going to take place in the 70s. This is a guy who literally stood face to face with Hitler.
yes.
And now it's 1974.
Is that it? Because I've heard I've heard it's going to take place in the 70s. I've also heard it's going to take place in the 60s. So it sounds like they have to acknowledge that Indy is getting older.
It has to be.
Yeah.
It's got to be in the same age range. Of
Yes.
things.
Right.
So yeah, I imagine that there's going to be some intimation of, look, he's too old for all this sort of stuff, and it's going to be hard for him to. The whip don't crack like it used to.
Yeah. And so here's the thing. It's like we love this character. We love Harrison Ford playing this character.
Yeah.
But is he past his prime? Has the train left the station, basically? And how are they going to do this to acknowledge that Indy is up there when this is a franchise that made its name on over-the-top stunts? And no matter how unbelievable the Indiana Jones movies got, you still kind of accepted, oh yeah, I can see him doing that. Yeah, that makes sense. Even when he climbed into the fridge and survived an atomic blast in Crystal Skull, I still was like, yeah, I can see that. But you know, in this one, I want them to acknowledge that he's getting older, because there is nothing more embarrassing than watching an action movie with an actor who's a little past his prime, and you can just know it's a stuntman. Yeah. Right? It's like, oh yeah, that's definitely a stuntman. It's like, I don't want to be watching this like I did with like Star Trek V and see, oh yeah, Shatner's wearing a girdle. Yeah, that's definitely a stuntman there. You know, you gotta acknowledge that he's an older guy who's doing things like an older guy, as opposed to he's an older guy who's totally ignoring. You don't want to see an older guy doing younger guy stuff. I guess that's what I'm saying.
You got to go from cracking whips to cracking hips.
Give it up. Yeah, there you go. Major clink on that one. So, what are you thinking? Are you thinking Indy 5? Is this something you're looking forward to? Is this a movie they should be making?
I think so. This is in the same vein of what you're talking about. They've built. Indiana Jones is one of those characters that Harrison Ford is the only one who can play him. So you can't recast. Like, there was talk about having Chris Pratt take over as the new Indiana Jones. Yeah. They were talking about Shia LaBeouf taking the franchise in a direction. So they literally had to pick up the hat. Yeah. And he's like, no, we're not doing it. And so,
nice try.
But they established that, like, there's not going to be another Indiana Jones besides Harrison Ford. It's like there wouldn't be another Han Solo unless you did like a younger version.
Yeah.
But they already did a young Indiana Jones, and we can't go back and do another one of those.
No, because that guy, he became a Boondock Saint, so he's already busy.
Yeah. So the
what were we talking about again? The movies. Do we want to?
Phoenix.
No, Boondock Saints was, what's his name? Oh yeah, River Phoenix
was young Indiana Jones.
Was young Indiana Jones in the movie, but then Sean Patrick Flannery did Young Indiana Jones on TV, and the Young
really?
Indiana. Oh, my young friend. Yes, there was a TV series in, like, I think the late 80s called The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, which lasted like 2 seasons.
See, I was too busy watching the Adventures of Briscoe County.
Well, which is a much better TV show. Which is worth our discussion in another show.
Absolutely.
But there's a TV series called The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles in like the late 80s, which had Sean Patrick Flannery playing a Indiana Jones in his late teens, early 20s.
Yeah.
And he rode with Pancho Villa, and he did all kinds of stuff. And then he went on to make a really awful romantic comedy with Sarah Michelle Gellar, with like magic crabs and stuff. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Yeah. Whatever that one was called.
It wasn't Practical Magic. It was the other one.
Yeah, and whatever it's called, because I want to say Practical Magic.
Well, that's the actual title. It's not Practical Magic. The other one.
Yeah, I actually think you're right. And sometimes it's just a little sad when TV actors try to make movies. It's out there.
Getting back to
getting back to Indiana Jones 5. Yeah.
I'm gonna retract my own statement here a little bit. Because the guy who played in Solo,
yes,
I thought he did a really good job.
I thought he did a
I
good job
enjoyed-
too.
I
I thought he
enjoyed
did.
it.
I thought he did a good job, and he paid homage to Harrison Ford's performance. Do you like how I use that big fancy word?
Indeed.
Homage.
Pinky up.
Thank you very much. And he did it without doing a Harrison Ford impression.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so I think that would be the way that you could go. If you want to have someone who's going to be able to fill those same kind of vibes and kind of lead up to who
Yeah.
the next Harrison Ford would be, going in that route might not be Aaron, what's his name?
And
Walter House?
Alden Ehrenreich, I think.
Alden Ehrenreich.
I think. But you know how I do with people's names. I do it very gently. So gang, would you accept anybody else as Indiana Jones? Should we just? I have one of our followers, Jared Traum, who has been a devoted Nerdspresso fan recently, said, they made an Indiana Jones movie called The Last Crusade. That was The Last Crusade.
Yeah.
And saying we don't need any more Indiana Jones movies. And I say, maybe it was the almost Last Crusade. So
Adjacent to the Last Crusade.
yeah, somewhat nearby the Last Crusade. Could be the Last Crusade.
Yeah.
But it's like, I like this character. I can go into it with an open mind, but it's just they're really gonna have to wow me with the story. Address Indy's age, tell a good story, do some stunts, have the supporting cast do more than the stunts that he can't. And we'll just see what happens. But gang, let us know in the comments, are you for an Indiana Jones 5, or should they have stopped at Last Crusade? Let us know in the comments. So, but you will find out in summer of 2022.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
It's going to be really good to see.
All right.
All right,
So
so I think, yeah, all right. I don't know. We're still live. I don't know what's going on with it.
all righty then.
It had blanked out for a second, like we weren't doing anything. But all the other lights were on, so everything's fine, and we're still here. So,
All right.
But now is as good a time, I think, as any to kind of bring things to a close, because it's been a wonderful
It's been a
day.
good time. We've been talking about summer movies and kicking off the summer of 2021. And then the other thing is, we've been sharing on the show and in posts the lovely Nerdspresso coffee mug, and we've been getting some feedback from people. If you're thinking it's cool and you want one of your own, let us know, and we'll respond with a
We can
pithy
make that
comment
happen.
and see what we can do.
Join us for coffee on another
Yeah.
beautiful Saturday.
Yes.
For another Nerdspresso. But thank you guys so much for being here with us. We've enjoyed having you, and thank you for letting us back into your morning routine for the weekend. So hope you have a great, wonderful day.
Yep.
Stay safe, stay fun, and
Stay nerdy. Clank. Nice one. We'll see you at the movies.